Hey, what is up everyone? Welcome back to another review, and today I'm taking a look at the high-grade Build Fighters Lightning Zeta Gundam Aspros. This comes in a purple monochromatic box, so that can only mean one thing. This right here is a premium Bandai exclusive. A premium Bandai exclusive from 2016, by the way. So if you are looking to grab something like this yourself, they might be hard to come by. So I got mine through Bai as usual. You can check pretty much any Japanese store for it, and I got mine off of Rakuten. But yeah, what can I say? I knew next to nothing at all about this kit. I knew it was based somewhat on the Lightning Zeta from Build Fighters Try, but I didn't know how much it was based on that particular kit. And the answer is pretty much 100%, besides the color. So yeah, this is a part-for-part exact kit to the full release Lightning Zeta Gundam, but it's now in that absolutely beautiful white, gray, yellow, and purple. This color scheme, of course, based on Amuro Ray's own Zeta Gundam, known as the White Zeta, or the Zeta Unit 3. One hell of a color scheme, definitely. I didn't know how I'd feel when it all went together. On the runners, it kind of looked like the colors would clash a bit, but this thing looks insane. There's one little extra in here, which is a set of water slide decals. I did use them for this review, and honestly, this is a lot more impressive than I expected. Now, I never built the high-grade Lightning Zeta Gundam, but I know back when Gundam Build Fighters and Build Fighters Try came out, there was some absolutely awesome high grades. At the same time, some wishy-washy high grades too from those series. So this one seems like it was an absolute winner back then. Anyway, that is enough about it. Let's jump right on into it. So jumping into the aesthetics, and here's the full 360 spin of the high-grade Lightning Zeta Gundam Aspros. Once again, like I mentioned in the intro, this is 100% physically identical to the Lightning Zeta Gundam. The only difference, of course, is the color, and the color in here is done oh so well. This thing looks phenomenal. I am actually so shocked by how nice this is. So, first off, it seems like what I can see on the runners is the Lightning Zeta Gundam was built 100% from the ground up, so it isn't based on any Zeta Gundam that is out there, from what I can see. And it does feel like that too. There's only one real down point with this particular kit, and that is to a degree it is very heavy on the stickers, especially purple ones for around on the backpack. Now, I didn't use these. I just went and straight built this with a little bit of panel lining, and this is what I got. So honestly, not too bad. They kept all the stickers to around the back and in a couple of the vents, so it's not so noticeable. So even straight built, it looks damn cool. On top of that, in here we also have a couple of water slide decals. That is the big ol' A, I am assuming for Aspros, up on the shoulder. Very similar to the Amuro logo, just kind of changed a little bit. And we do have another one on the rear of the shield. This one has a lot going on, and by the way, I didn't put this on crooked. It kind of is driving me mad, the angle it's at, but that's what it says to put it on like, so I went with it. This has a lot of written detail on it, but as for what you can read, I can see Lightning, Gundam, and Aspros. When it comes to the plastics on this kit, all the molding is absolutely fantastic. The layout and design of the arms is especially impressive. We've got multiple points of rotation and a lot of different posing options. We've got piping built into a lot of the gray segments on the inner frame, and pretty much when it comes to the actual sculpt or the mold of this particular kit, it looks so damn sharp, so amazing, and incredibly impressive. And I'll also mention that the panel lining is super impressive too, especially down on the lower aspect of the legs. I am adding the Lightning Zeta to my to-buy list because this is impressive. If you don't have one of these, or at least the Lightning Zeta itself, I say grab one. For the year these came out, these are mind-blowingly nice. So now jumping into the accessories, and here is what comes inside the box with the Lightning Zeta Aspros. So what we've got is a beam rifle, a shield, and a pair of beam effects. And I have to say, even though I haven't checked these out thoroughly just yet, these are impressive. So the first of the weapons we have in here is the beam rifle. Now this is one long, nice beam rifle. This has two different sights on it, which is a very nice touch. We've got the usual one up front, which is that kind of rectangular one right there. And then we've got the even larger circular one off to the right hand side. Now both of these are foil stickers, so you can see there by the shine. And this right here has quite a few moving parts. This part up here can pivot up and down like so. This part towards the back that can also move forward and back like that. And we do have this drop down section right here. This is usually aligned in this position right here while being held, and that can fold away for when it is being stored. Watch out about this though. This is quite loose and can fall off, so that is a little bit of a loss risk. But yeah, that flap tucks away like that when it is stored. So there is the Lightning Gundam Zeta Aspros in a bit of a pose holding on to this, and according to the Gundam Wiki, this handheld beam weaponry is the Lightning Zeta Gundam Aspros main weapon. It has a higher accuracy than an ordinary beam rifle. When the back binders are attached to the arms, the beam rifle can be attached to the back and functions like a beam cannon. Attaching this into the hand is the usual way, that is the sandwich style hands. You have to pull the back of the hand like so, pop the finger segment onto the handle like this, then sandwich on the rear of the hand. Simple. Attaching this onto the Zeta is pretty easy. I will mention the forearm armor is very, very big, wide, and this can get a little bit in the way of some poses, but not a lot. Next up in here, we've got the shield in matching colors to the mobile suit itself. That is the purple as well as the light gray, and the white on the decal actually adds the white of the mobile suit too, which looks great. The decal is very intricate, looks good. Flipping around to the other side, it is just in purple, so you may want to paint that in gray to bring out some of the detail. This little segment right here can pivot up and down ever so slightly. As for the attachment, we've got this little adapter segment right here, attaches on just like that. That actually then has a pivot, a little bit of a tilt because the ball joint up top, and a handle that can swing around all the way from there, all the way to there. To attach this, we do have a slot in the rear of the forearm. Actually, we've got a slot in the rear of both forearms. We've got two hands that can hold the rifle, so you can attach them on either in a right-handed kind of way or a left-handed. Just, I guess, if you did pop the rifle in the other arm, this would be on the wrong side, and that can't be switched out. Anyway, that pops in just like so, simple and secure. So once again, there is the Lightning Zeta Aspros in a pose, and as for what it says on the wiki about the shield, mounted on the left forearm, it's the suit's main defensive equipment and can also serve as a weapon due to a Mega particle cannon installed on the tip. Like the beam rifle, the shield can also be attached to the back and used as a beam cannon when the back binders are attached to the arms. With the beam rifle and shield at the back, and the beam blades on the arm-mounted binders activated, the Lightning Zeta Gundam Aspros can attack enemy units in all ranges, easily and without any delay due to changing weapons. So next up in here, we've got ourselves a pair of effect parts, and in order to use these, you need to pop the wings off the back, just like so. In order to attach these effects, just pop this wing up like so, swing this wing up like that, and then the effect part just slots on in, just like so. Next up, we've got these little parts right here that you can just pop out like this, and then they can attach into the same spot on the rear of the arms that we would have attached the shield into earlier on, and they attach on very nicely. Nice rock solid hold, and they're flush against the rear of the arm. Now I have to say I'm ridiculously impressed by this. This looks so good. These add such a ridiculous blade to the arm. It gives this kit a really cool winged kind of vibe, and I don't mean wings around back, I mean wings on the arms. And even better, this kit is rock solid, has great balance, so these aren't even throwing it towards the back. This is such a nicely designed kit. As for what it says on the wiki about these beam blades, it says a pair of beam blades can be emitted from the wings of the back binders. They're deployed when the binders are attached to the forearms and have high cutting power due to their large size. Damn, they look cool. So when the rifle is not in use, you can just collapse back the handle like so, the front guard like that, and then this piece like so. We've got that little bit sticking out. And then using that peg, you can actually attach it into the slot round back like so to mount it up on the backpack. Same goes for the shield, that can be mounted onto the left-hand side, just like so. Both of those weapons then can be moved up and over the shoulders, just like so, to be used while still mounted round back. Pretty cool. And finally then, using a combination of pretty much the shield and the arm binders, we can reproduce the Phoenix Burst system attack. So by popping the shield into the hand while the binders are on the arms, it looks just like this right here. Dynamic, awesome, and pretty damn over the top. This is one hell of a pose on one hell of a kit with some really unique and cool accessories. Let's check out how it moves. So now jumping into the articulation, and first off I'm going to mention this is solid, much more solid than I expected. This is an extremely nice kit right here. Anyway, from the neck down. The neck here is not your usual high-grade polycap, so although we do have two joints, the bottom one is a hinge, and then the top one is a ball. That large collar does get in the way of a lot of turning and pivoting, so this is quite limited, and you do have to kind of fight that collar sometimes and bring the head out past it to get the poses that you want. A little bit difficult. At the shoulders here, these are double jointed. First off, we've got this ball joint inside of the torso, and then after that, we've got your standard kind of peg. So that means this has, well, very unstandard shoulders. So we've got the full rotation, the wing does kind of get in the way. As for raising that arm up all the way, we'll get to about parallel to the ground, and if I straightened up the camera, you might actually see that it's a little bit higher. We also have this nice little flap right here, which actually moves very nicely. Oh, can get caught a little bit, pop that out, but otherwise it moves quite nicely with that movement. We've got 2 points of rotation at this arm, so the arms on this are a little bit complex, so I'm going to pop them off. They're not your average high-grade arms. So these are essentially made out of 3 segments. The upper segment right here, and we have a full 360 spin that's hard to access right there. And then we've got a second 360 spin down here. So all that can get a little bit, well, messy at times. But what that definitely does mean is we've got a lot of options. So there is bend the first, there's bend the second, so the articulation is great. And we can actually move the forearm beyond that bend to get some very expressive and nice poses. That's cool. The wrist joint then is just your standard ball joint wrist that does what a normal high grade usually does. The ab crunch here is quite classic. It is just a ball joint that doesn't get you much. Just a bit of eking back and forward, a little bit side to side but not much, and a blocked kind of twist here, so quite limited. Around the back then, this can swing all the way up in that Zeta kind of style. These are attached on via ball joints but can also twist quite a bit because of this little segment back here, which works more so for the weapons when they're on the back. The wings we've seen before, they can move up like so, then up like that, so there's a lot of movement in the wings themselves. The skirting armor does come attached on the runner, but you can separate both of the flaps. These kind of move along the curve of this little segment here when you move them up. These ones here just up and down and spin forward and back, the usual routine. And then we've got your standard easygoing paralyzed butt flap. As for inside the waist unit, we do have a little bit of a tilt right here to the legs, that's side to side. As for the kicks then, there it is all the way up to the front, all the way out to the back. As for the splits, get that out of the way, and yep, we get the full splits and the full 360 spin at the upper leg. As for the leg then, we've got a 1-2 point bend right there. A little bit of tilt at the toes, but nothing, no moving toes or anything. And by the way, I haven't mentioned it just yet. While slamming this on the ground to check out the functional movement, this is a Zeta without a transformation. So anyway, as for the functional movement, aka not taking the foot off the ground, there is the movement towards the front, there is the movement out to the back, which is really good. Lining that to the front now, and there is the side, whoa, that's good. 2 side pivot. I'm impressed. So yeah, on the whole, the articulation on this is really, really good. Way better than I actually expected. It's rock solid to boot. I did lose a wing while posing this into the pose, but that is it. That was my own fault. But besides that, this is going to do some great poses, looks great in the air, and for the most part, will not fall apart. Great kit. So anyway, that right there is it for the review, and I was wondering what would I give this kit because it has impressed me so much. And I was taking a look through my gold and my platinum tier lists, and I was like, this really feels like something that should be on the platinum tier list, not the gold. Now I will mention the only negative aspect about this kit, and I assume it also applies to the Lightning Zeta Gundam as well. And that is it does, it relies on some stickers for around on the backpack and a couple of the vents. But if you can ignore that and you don't really mind those parts not being in color like me, or if you're just gonna go paint them anyway, this kit is essentially perfect. It looks great, it feels great, the panel lines on this look great, the arm, well, their makeup, the elbow joint that's inside of those just gives you so many options. I guess the only other down point would be it'd be nice to have some extra hands in here, but Build Fighter's line does come with some sold separately hands, you can pop onto it. This is just such a cool take on the Zeta Gundam. It doesn't have a transformation, so if you don't like the way the transformation feels in the robot mode of a Zeta Gundam, you might just want this one instead. The weapons are really cool, the options are great, and those big old blades on the arms are one of the coolest looking weapons I've seen in quite some time. Honestly, I am so impressed, so if you were thinking about a Lightning Zeta or a Lightning Zeta Aspros, I say definitely 100% go for it. I got mine through Buy, link in the description. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. As always, this video and every video would not be possible without each and every one of you guys who watches my videos. And special thanks to those of you who are supporting me over on Patreon and on the channel members, including Caleb Engelhart, Global Frequency Studios, Go Little Rockstar, Gunpla UK Limited, Joe, Kill Me Inc., Lawrence Seahack, RG59061, and Van Fawn.